Chris, it's Karen. I'm just joining, and I'm on my phone, and I saw your video for a second, and then it asked me to dial in with my phone, and now I can hear you, but I can't see you anymore. Do you know how to instruct me to?
Unfortunately, I'm not clear on how to fix that. The way I have this setting is when I actually talk, is when my video is going to actually show. What's more important, and see, when you talk or when everything goes, your screen actually comes up. Maybe I might just change that. Let me change that real quickly. So I can actually. By the way,
Can
we
you
are.
See me now? Can you see me or no?
1 second. All I see is your name. It's a black box with your name on it, Karen.
Okay, that's good enough. I think I can see you now. So
Perfect.
I guess we're okay.
All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, so as we start for the actual, I want to get this on the actual recording for the scope of this call for the next 90 minutes. The first thing I want to do is go over the final project requirements, make sure we are all on the same page for that. So we're ready to submit our final projects to date. And then once that's done, I'll be more than happy to answer any final questions that you may have about the course, about your course, where we're going further as far as Canvas is concerned. I'll also touch base, I don't know if Sarah touched base on the migrating from Blackboard to Canvas, importing a Canvas sandbox. I'll quickly go over these 2 units as well. And then we'll close out with any other final questions that you may have. So the most important document that you want to see and focus on for Unit 5 is the final project requirements. The reason why I say that is as I wrote this and for final project submissions, there is a very long rubric that I'm not too happy with, and I'm talking with another instructor on how I can improve this. To make the grading rubric make a little more sense, I went ahead and created this document right here. So if you have any questions on how you're supposed to be graded, you're going to want to review this document. And I'll quickly go over these items here. First off, let's talk about the home page. First requirement, provides a brief description of the course, clear instructions on how to get started, and provides working links to the overview pages of each module in the course. And then also at least one announcement appears on the home page. Now what I do is I actually, for your reference, you can always go back and take a look at the actual unit where you actually learn how to choose a home page. So you can click on that link, and then you can see that actual assignment. There are also, under the resources section, I do a detailed review of what I feel is an effective homepage example. So we can take a look at this document here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me just go over here. I just give a brief analysis. A lot of these numbers will correspond with an image down below. As far as that, I don't know if you could see that, but right here, we have the actual announcement. You have the navigation, it's very to the point. And then you have your course description. And then if you have any links, like if you could see in this little box right here, or any links, they should work perfectly. So always make sure you test out your links. Make sure those are working correctly. Does anybody have a question or? No, okay. If you just have a question, just go ahead and chime in. I'm going to make this a really informal process.
We can go back and look at how to do an announcement.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, I'll show you where you can do that as well. Also, Canvas buttons. This is not a requirement for your final project, but this was a major request out of every single course that I've taught for this Introduction to Teaching with Canvas course. I always get the questions on how to create the actual buttons here. So if you want to add that to your actual page, you can follow this document. But again, this item is not required for you to succeed or for you to succeed on your final project. This part is purely optional. However, you will want to review the effective homepage example page.
Chris, I did do the buttons, and when I got to the final, I forget what it's called, but where that yellow highlight was on the HTML, the wording didn't match up, and I was a little confused on how or where exactly to place my insert. So that might be something you want to look at.
Okay, definitely. I'll take a look at that. And then if we have time at the end of, or if we have time during maybe the last half hour, maybe we can look into that also. One of the key things too is going to be navigation. This is going to be very important. So there is a document here for review. How do you reorder? If you do not know how to reorder your course navigation links, you're going to want to review this. This was not an assignment as far as in Unit 2 or Module 2, but you're going to want to review how to order your navigation links. So there's instructions on how to do that. And then I also created a document myself on navigation. And it's very important, the options that we want to have here, the things that you want to have hidden for students are, there's 4 major items that I want to see hidden. It's files, pages, quizzes, and assignments. We want all coursework that you provide to your students, whether you're teaching an online course, a hybrid course, or you're just using Canvas to supplement your face-to-face course, all coursework must go through the modules section. We had a couple of instructors in our pilot program during the spring semester. They had the files, they had the pages, they had the quizzes, the assignments, and then the modules. And with so many points of entry, students were really confused on where they needed to focus. So keeping it contained in the modules will make it a lot easier. And I'll do a quick demo on how to do this. I'm going to go into the settings real quickly. And then you're going to want to click on navigation. And so the top box is the box of all the items your students see. The bottom box is all the items that are hidden from students. So if you just want to, for example, if I wanted to hide, the attendance option, I can hide that. If I want to hide the discussions, because I did say I wanted everything to go through the modules, I can hide that. And then I can also save. Also, there are a couple items in here that are acceptable. If you have Pearson or Cengage or McGraw-Hill, if you use these third-party publishers, you can use that and drag these up to your course if you use any of these items right here.
How about chat?
Chat, that's perfectly fine if you want to use chat.
Good.
Chat, or I did a demonstration on conferences too.
Okay.
Which is kind of like Zoom-like, but the nice thing with conferences, it has a whiteboard. So I don't know in the scope of your course if a whiteboard might be important. You can use this. This went beyond the scope of our course. So if anybody ever wants to do a demonstration or do testing on how it works, I'll be more than happy to work with you on that after the course is done. I just, for the base example of what you would want to see in a course, these are the base items: home, announcements, syllabus, modules, grades, and people. You hide files, pages, outcomes, and quizzes and assignments. And then anything else you find in this course that you feel might be helpful to you, go ahead and feel free to add it to your course. And then go ahead and click Save to save your settings. And then as you can see, my changes are appearing right here. Let me go back to the module section. Danny talked about what you know about announcements. So let's go ahead and review real quickly on the announcements section and how that's done. And also, by the way, I don't know if Sarah mentioned this. If you know, I'm gonna go off on navigation item here. Currently, I'm on my modules section. And now if I click on the final projects requirements, if I just click on that, I'm now in my pages section. Now, obviously I could go through and click next and go to the next item in the module. But what if I did not want to go to the next item in the module? What if I wanted to go to a different section? I'd have to click on modules, and then I would have to go through and then scroll down and find where I wanted to go. What I would recommend as far as where you're working is you have one tab up here. It would be like, I call it your home base. And when I'm on my final project requirements, I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to hit Command. If you're on a PC, you would hit Control or hold down Control. And then I click with my left click, and it opens up in a new tab. That way I can review my document, and when I'm done with my document, I click, and then I'm back on my home base. Does that make sense? It's just a lot easier way to navigate through Canvas instead of going through and having to go back to the section. So with that, I'm going to hold down the Command key, Mac, Control for PC. I'm going to go to the home page. And so basically what I also wanted to show is the recent announcements and make sure you understand how to get this item on your home view as well. So Danny, if you ever wanted to create an announcement, you could go into the announcement section. Just click on the blue announcement button. And then you would go ahead and create your announcement. You'd fill your announcement with your topic title, and then you would enter in your topic, your content here. You click save, and then your announcement is posted. Now, I know I'm going a little fast on this, but this item is recorded, so I will have this posted up on YouTube, so don't be too concerned about taking notes.
No, I am. I've got to take notes, but because I find the announcements easy on Blackboard because it's right there, and as soon as you finish it, you just click it off, so it goes off, and there it is posted. Is this just as fast?
Yeah, it's just as fast on the announcements. You just go on the announcement section. I'll just go ahead and I don't want to create a temp announcement because this is going to go to you.
Oh, no.
So I just go on the announcements. I click announcements. I write my title. I'll go ahead and create it. I write my title. And then I would write my announcement. And then I would just save. And this automatically sends out an email to you students, or to your students, a notification to your students.
Okay, like Blackboard, they're tied in, their emails are tied into the class?
Yeah, your whatever email is on your Web Advisor account.
Okay.
And then you actually see on the home page, the actual announcement actually appears right here. Now, how do we get this recent announcements on the home page? Because that's the most important part, and I'll go slow for this one. You click on Settings in your course menu. Then you make sure you're on your Course Details tab. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will see more options. You click on More Options. And there's an item here that says Show Recent Announcements on Course Home Page. You want to make sure that's checked off. And then you can click on Update Course Details to save your option. And by doing that, your announcements will appear on your homepage. Also, I'm going to go ahead and delete that title one since that's not a legitimate announcement. To delete an announcement, you can click on the actual announcement and then you can say delete. Now, if you want an actual review or a detailed review on how to create the announcement and what I just went over, I believe it's in Unit 1, Item 1.5. So Danny, if you want detailed notes on how to create the announcement, you can go ahead and go to item 1.5 in Unit 1. And this is the actual assignment. You can watch the video. And then I would highly recommend that you read the How Do I Make an Announcement in my course. And then there's another video here, Announcements Overview.
Okay.
You can watch those items there. moving on to the final project requirements. So we did the home page, we did the navigation. Let's talk about the syllabus. So also due is 5.4, post your syllabus assignment. We talk about the syllabus. There's in the content area or the rich content editor area. Your section enforces the importance of the syllabus, informs what needs to be done in the course, and provides a course communication policy. Syllabus document automatically displays on the page. And then your course summary has due dates and times assigned to each item. Calendar items include time, location, and details regarding the event.
Chris?
Yes.
Let's see, I have used what I call a course schedule, which seems to be your course summary.
Mm-hmm.
I had a separate syllabus, and I did that because I thought the school instructions for the syllabus were to do it that way.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if this is a little bit of a change from what is officially posted on the school.
I'm not familiar with what the I'm not familiar with how or any policies set forth by the school or your department in regards to.
Does anybody else remember some instructions on how to do your syllabus? I forget exactly where it was, but it was on the school website.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
My syllabus includes a syllabus and then also a course schedule that's kind of a general idea of what kinds of things, what we're going to be doing every day. Like, you know, week 1, we're going to cover chapter 1 and chapter 2, and week 2, we're going to do experiment 1, and, you know, blah, 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 like that. The difference between that and the course summary that's in Canvas, the course summary is more a list of assignments that you're going to turn in that actually get graded in a grade book. And so it's sort of a separate thing. So what I did is I put my syllabus and my schedule as a document into the syllabus section of Canvas. And then my course summary will be filled out as I go along in my class when assignments are graded and when I have stuff that's due on a certain day that gets a grade that goes into the grade book. Is that accurate, Chris?
That is accurate. And do you mind if we take a look at your actual syllabus, Karen?
No, yeah, go ahead. That'd be fine.
And while we're ahead, did you have a comment that you wanted to make, John?
Well, I was just thinking, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because for some reason my light's not coming up that I'm speaking, but anyway, you know, okay, so, and I had a little question on the final project rubric, particularly that last one that says modules, because at the bottom it said assessment items must provide clear instructions on how to complete each assessment. Due dates and availability dates are also included, which I understand, but does, I mean, the syllabus that I post in this class, does that have to line up? I mean, who cares? I guess what I was thinking is I'm really being tested not on what's in my course syllabus in this class. I'm being tested on the ability to work on Canvas, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I mean, if it doesn't have on my course calendar, I was like, do I have to go through all my course calendars and line up what I wrote down here for this Canvas class that my dates were?
No.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I'm not doing that.
So Karen already turned in her final project. I graded it. She's the first one that's been graded in this course.
Okay.
Syllabus. I'm going to go over what I feel is important as far as this section is concerned.
Yeah.
And so it'll be easier for you.
Because I think, you know, I totally understand that we have to be able to show to you that we can work this, you know, how to create a rubric and what button I have to push to make sure that rubric's up there. But, you know, to make sure that all lines up with what I have here or there in the paperwork, is that really relevant? I mean,
no.
Okay. Good. Thank you, because that was just like, oh my gosh, that's going to take forever, and I just don't have the time for it. But anyway, all right, right on.
There's a lot. The way that I wrote that rubric is based on experience. I've personally taught this. This is 3 times that I've taught this. This is the 4th time that I'm helping some other instructors. And I wrote those for those instructors that didn't do the work.
Okay.
And so a lot of times if you show me you do the work and you show me the demonstration, you have a competency in some of the things that I've instructed, there's exceptions, and there's a lot of exceptions to the rules that you make that I'm going to be really easy on.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So I'll cover the things as far as Sarah goes through. A lot of times when we sit here and we go through the syllabus, I'm big on context. I'm big on setting something up, because a lot of instructors, they'll just post documents up without any setup. And what do I mean by setup? If I'm a student, and let's say I'm in your course. Well, John, what do you teach?
I'm teaching humanities and religion. All
right, so I'm in your humanities course. Typically in course, and what I remember in my experience with college, if you were to give me, let's say, a document, you give me a document, whether it's a syllabus or it's an assignment regarding what you want me to review in your actual course, you're going to set it up for me. You're going to provide the context of what this document is, what it's about, why is it important to me, why do I need to review it, and how is it going to affect me in the course. Is that pretty much
what you would like us to have on that first page? For example, what I see here in front of me, what you have on your screen with the overview and an instructor communication policy, right?
Right. So this
and
is
then you want to see also that I have the ability to do as you did, have my course syllabus right there, and they have access to it, or they can download it.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So all I want is the context or setup. So basically what I want to sit here and I say to instructors, the syllabus is like your starting point. If you ever get lost in your course, if you don't know where you're going or anything else, you have this section, because we always know students don't keep up and read their syllabus. With Canvas and the way this is set up, there is no excuse for student not to know where to go and where they need to be for the course. The syllabus is always going to be there. I want to establish the importance for that.
Yeah.
Also, with the course summary, they're not aware. I mean, if I'm looking at the screen below, they're not going to be aware to be able to sit here and scroll down to the bottom of the screen, see the course summary, and they might not even understand what this is. So I'm using this as a setup to actually explain, here's your syllabus. It's going to be your core way to get successful and get started in the course. And then you also want to make sure you understand the course summary, because it outlines the complete schedule for what you're doing. And then the instructor communication policy. Basically, John, all I want you to ask are two questions. How do I get a hold of you as a student? And how long is it going to take from you to get back to me for any inquiries that I make? And then for the actual document, I just want you to post your syllabus. This could be a syllabus that's 2 years old. Just as long as you have a syllabus here and you can show me, the main purpose is having the syllabus here. You show me, you know how to make a document display automatically so I can access, this is easily accessible, just like Karen's is.
Right on.
For the dates, for the course summary dates, any assignment that you actually create, so whether it's a discussion, whether it's a quiz, or whether it's an actual assignment, I want to see a date and a time attached. I don't care if they're correct. I'm sure if you don't know the actual schedule or how things are going to actually work, I just want dates. I just want any arbitrary dates here.
Where can I go to get that process, that procedure? Because I'm having a big problem with the date and the time.
With the date and the time, I will show how to do that real quickly. So I'm going to go into my modules section. So Danny wants to know, how do you add a date and time to an actual assignment, discussion, or anything else? So let's go through, and I'm going to go through the actual assignments here. So one of the very first assignments you did in Unit 1 was an edit profile assignment. So I'm going to click on that assignment right here. And I'm going to click on the edit settings because I want to edit the settings for this option. And then you scroll down here, and it sounds here, Danny, if you could see here in the Assign To option, there is an actual due date right here of June 23rd at 11:59 p.m. And this item is available from June 16th at 8 a.m. to July 21st. It should be July 23rd.
Okay, when I've done that, what comes up is something to the effect of the semester ending, or it's like not done correct. I don't know why, but just like you did right there, and all of a sudden I get these clouds.
All I remember, the available from or available to until, I'm not too concerned about these now. This is something that you want to be aware of when you do your course. All I care about is the actual due date.
Well, because I'm working on my actual syllabus for the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been trying to put in the dates according to when you see my course syllabus, I put the units, the module in units, just like I did, but all the way through the semester.
Right.
And so when I'm putting the correct dates, and even some that I put in for a quiz, and I went back to look at my syllabus, it was the wrong date. It was in unit 4 instead of unit 3. So I erased that. But when I'm doing this date for that part, it just won't post.
Well, it'll always post as long as you sit there. There's two things you might want to sit there and might want to watch for. So you set the due date here, and then you can click save, and it'll change the due date. There's also in your course settings, if you're concerned and you actually want to do the correct dates for your actual fall semester, you can actually go into settings, and under course details, if you want to do the correct dates, you can set the correct dates for your actual course right here. So the start date.
Okay, that's why those clouds come up, because
Probably, maybe that's the issue, is if the arbitrary dates aren't working for you, this is probably set in a certain way.
Yeah, well, because see, the dates that I see there, start and ends, is for this class, and
right.
the dates that I'm working on start August 21st.
Right. So if you want to do
the
correct dates, you can go ahead and change these.
Okay, that makes sense, because otherwise I'll keep going around in a circle.
Just make sure that when you do this under the settings, when you change the actual dates, you click update course details to save your option.
Okay.
John, are we good on the syllabus section?
Yeah, yep, I understand. Thank you.
And then also with calendar items, so if you have any calendar items, and you have a lot of event information, just put one in the actual course, maybe the one that you actually completed for the actual assignment in Unit 3. And the main thing I want to sit here and see is not only last day to drop with an option, the date, and then in the details section, a brief description on what this is about. I don't want to see this blank right here. So when I click edit for this option, and then I click more options, I can write whatever I want describing this event. And then I can update that event. That's what Karen's done here. Moving on. I know I'm going a little quick, but I wanted to go and do a quick overview on each of these sections. And then once I get done with the actual modules, if there's anything you specifically want me to go over to in a slower pace, I'll be more than happy to do that. But I just want to make sure we cover all the areas first. All right, modules. This is the most important section of this final project requirements. Let's talk about this. Base outline established for 2 modules. Modules must align with the course outline that was submitted in your Unit 0 Create an Online Course Outline assignment. Now, let me clarify what I mean by must align here. There are instructors in the past that, as I was trying to mention to you, John, that did not complete the assignment correctly, or it was incomplete, or they just do it to complete the exercise. You know, for example, in my announcement, the announcement, I just said test title, test announcement, and I submitted it. Well, technically, that is, I created an announcement, and I could turn that in. But I wanted you to sit there and create something that you would be doing for an actual course, like you're actually creating the course. So when I've seen stuff that looks incomplete from what the course outline they sent me, then I knock from this item. I'll knock your points off. However, if your modules show an evolution, show that you've done the work, and it shows an evolution, you've thought about changes and design changes that you've wanted to make, that's perfectly fine for this item right here.
Yeah, just like I mentioned that I am going back and redoing stuff now,
Right.
but I know I had it posted when I submitted it, but now when you see it, it's going to be the actual format that I'm going to use for my class.
Yeah. And that's perfect. As long as you show, as long as your modules clearly show, and it's going to be obvious that you're doing the work, that it's in process, that you understand and demonstrate how you can use Canvas and you know how to create the modules, and the modules actually make sense, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
For those instructors that don't complete the work, it's incomplete, and their modules don't make sense of the items that you want your students to focus on in sequential order, that's where I'm going to be very stringent on this criteria right here.
What Sarah said,
Go ahead.
what Sarah said to do with that is just resubmit a new outline that matched with your new version of stuff. And she said it saves all of your old outlines. So I just went back to Unit 0 and I just resubmitted the Unit 0 assignment with a new outline that matched my modules.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a question along those same lines in terms of if a student submits work to me and they say, whoops, I submitted that in the wrong place. Can they go up and take that down and then go submit it in the right place? Or do they just upload a new one and then, I would see it as a
one.
Okay. And I can see the different upload. In other words, I could see, oh, here's the old one that they first uploaded, and then now is the second one.
Let's see that. So let's go ahead and look at actual Karen's grade right here. So we're going to go through grades here, and I believe Karen mentioned she recreated outline. So I'm going to go ahead and find that. So this is on the create an outline assignment. I'm going to click on this little box right here. You see that little corner here? I'm going to do that, and then I can, this way it gets into the speed grader. Note the timestamp here, July 16th at 6:24 at 8 a.m. And this is Karen's latest announcement. If I click on the drop-down menu, I can see she also submitted one on June 29th. And she sees her outline here. This is another version. You note that, and it even notes this is not the most recent submission. And then you can see her very first outline right here. This is the very first one that you see. And you can see a direct evolution on everything that's gone through as far as her progress in her work. Does that help?
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, this one has the unit on it already.
Yeah. So that's how that works.
Okay.
I want to talk about, so in the outcome here, I want to talk about overview pages. Each module should have an overview page. Either an outline that either outlines the SLOs that align with unit and focus, informs the student what the related unit will cover, or what they will know by the time the unit is completed. Let me show you an example. I'm going to the modules page. And for every unit that you have, for the learning unit that you have, for example, here's the Unit 1 overview. Now, these units don't have to have these fancy graphics or anything else. And I'm thinking about creating a template so you guys could actually use this if you were interested in that. All I care about are these three items. Number one, what is this unit? What is it going to cover? This unit focuses on how Canvas works from both the student view and the instructor view. You'll learn the basics of how Canvas works by filling out a couple online forms and creating course materials. That way you have context, you understand what you know, what you're about to do, or what this unit is about to cover. Here's a very important one. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to build community of online learners, help students connect, and then create an announcement. So what is this unit about? What will they be able to do by the end of the lesson? And then what do they need to do to meet these objectives? Answer those three questions for your unit overview, and that complete that overview. Now, if you have in your modules, if you have like a getting started orientation one, like the one you took here, and you have like a simple welcome, this is fine for your orientation page too. So have a orientation like a welcome, how do you get started, or what this course is about, or what to expect. And then for your second one, which is going to be hopefully an actual learning unit, have that overview page that answers these 3 questions. What is this module about? What will you know by the end of this module, and what do you need to focus on?
Chris?
Yes.
In my second unit, I don't believe I have an overview. If I go back in and I want to make the overview 1.1, but I already have something in 1.1, how do you put that in place? And
well, let's look at, do you mind if we look at your course, Gary?
I don't mind at all, no.
All right, let's bring up your course. So I believe the question is if you don't have an overview page and you've already done the numbering conventions and everything else, how are we going to work with that? So let me bring up Terry's course here real quick. We're going to go into modules. So we have in-class, let me just get an idea, in-class activities on economics. In this chapter, you'll be introduced. This is your overview right here. This is perfect for you. So in this chapter, so what is this unit about? In this chapter, you'll be introduced to different economic systems, primarily capitalism, free enterprise, and socialism. You'll explore the advantages and disadvantages of each business owner's from the point of view. I would probably say on this one, Terry, it's like, okay, by the end of this lesson, you will know X, Y, and Z, but you already have what this is about, and you have what they actually need to do. So you're off to a good start on this one.
Okay, back to my question though. Let's say I wanted to put something in different. I want to keep 1.1 in-class activities, but I want to put something before that. How is that done?
So typically what you would do, and most of the time when you actually do what I do, I can sit here and go through, and then I'm going to create a new content page. If you wanted to, you could do 1.0. If you wanted to do it before that, and then
No, 1.0, yeah, would be what before 1.1, wouldn't
right.
it? I see. Okay.
You can actually do that, and that way it saves you from having to renumber these. If you wanted to renumber these, then you would have to go through and click on the item right here, and then edit, and then just change the actual number.
Yes, it's pretty involved.
So what I would sit here and say, I mean, for the scope, and I'll go ahead and leave this. Do you want me to leave this item here, Terry?
That's fine, yes.
So I would sit here and say, is after this course is done, and you start going through and building all your other units and everything else, leave the numbering convention the last item that you actually do.
Ah.
So you create all of your pages and everything else, and once your outline's set and you're clear on, I have everything that I have, the final thing would be to add the numbers for your actual course, and it just makes it fun.
Good tip.
All right, so that's the overview. Let's talk about have at least 4 completed content items within each module for a total of 8 items. What do I mean by that? Throughout the course, you learned how to create 4 items. You learned how to create a content page. You learned how to create an assignment, a discussion, and a quiz. I want you, and that's 4 items. So I want you to create 4 additional items, content items on your own. They can be a mix. They could be 4 content pages. They could be 4 discussions. They could be a mix of content pages, discussions, assignments, quizzes. I just want to see 4 items that you create on your own.
I'm going to go quiet for you.
On your own in units. So you would have 4 completed items here, and then you have 4 completed items here that you've created on your own. All I want to actually see. And these items would be fully completed items that you would actually be using to teach with. And then finally, assessment items must provide clear instructions on how to complete each assessment. Due dates and availability dates are also included, and then clear rubrics must be added. And then I have links for where you could refer to those items if you wanted to, you know, how to create a module, and then create assessment item covers all the rubrics and that stuff. So when we actually go through and I actually read these actual instructions, how to create a course outline, for example, you have clear instructions, an overview on what the assignment is, the instructions on what you need to do to complete it. You have the due dates that are set, and then the rubric is actually created for this assignment. So for any assessment, those are the 3 items that I want to see. Obviously, the rubrics are where applicable. So you would want to create rubrics for maybe a discussion board or an actual assignment. You don't need to create this, you don't need to add a rubric for an actual quiz.
Good.
If you do create a graded discussion that has a rubric, make sure you add this line at the end of the discussion, because you know how students access the grading rubrics versus how they access the assignment rubrics are different. When I access an assignment rubric, when I go into an actual assignment, the rubric is automatically at the bottom. They can actually see it. However, when you access a discussion rubric,
It's not there.
I have to click on the gear icon and then I say show rubric. So if you have a discussion, a graded discussion, make sure you add this right here. And you can go into my discussions and copy that. I'd say go in and copy this and that, you know, maybe put this in a Word document or something to save. Grading rubric, click on the gear icon located in the top right-hand corner, and then click on show rubric to view the grading requirements. So they can actually access that.
Great.
Chris, I think you gave, because I didn't show a rubric on one assignment, but that assignment was actually an in-class assignment. So do I need to show rubrics for in-class assignments?
I wanted, well, if it was an in-class, and that was the one thing that I wanted to question, and because even if it was an in-class assignment, I still would actually like to see something that would actually be, how do I know that I'm going to, how would I know how I'm going to be graded? So when I sat there and looked at it, so what Karen's talking about is in her assignments or anything else, I believe she had 3 assignments total. For one assignment, she didn't include a grading rubric. And I debated on this because it states in her assignment that it's an in-class 1. However, what if I'm the student and on the day that this assignment was addressed in class, and she goes over the grading requirements for that actual assignment, that I wasn't there. Let's say I wasn't there for a legitimate reason. And I want to go online to sit there and see the actual assignment and what's expected of me so I can stay on top of the course. There's no information there for me to understand how I'm going to be graded on this assignment so I can properly plan. So when you're doing in-class stuff, or whether it's a hybrid or you're using Canvas to supplement your face-to-face, make it a true supplement and have that written communication down so there'll be no discrepancy for a student or any misunderstanding on where they're going to be at with any particular assignment.
Okay. I guess I was in that would be within the instructions of the experiment on the paper copies. Because I was just using that as a placeholder for my grade because you can't grade anything without adding it as an assignment.
Right, but most instructors, I would assume that's what you were going to use to actually grade. So the grades, if you're going to use Canvas to actually grade it, it would be nice to actually have that rubric. And I'm going to actually show Karen's grade right here. So for Karen, her final project, she got a 97%. It's a 97% out of 100. So when I'm actually looking at her grade, and if Karen actually looks at her grade, I can't see it from her view, but I'll show it how it shows from my view. Another reason why, if you're going to use Canvas for grading, here is the actual grading comments for the actual thing. And so there's a written record on how, with this rubric, on where she was on everything. She got 10, 10, 10, 10 on every item. And then for our modules, she missed that one. It was an actual 7. So there's an actual.
That was
I'm sorry?
very thorough feedback. I appreciated that, Chris.
Yeah. And that's another reason why I wanted to see the actual rubrics included.
What is the difference on a submission, an assignment submission, when it says no submission or it says on paper submission?
So on paper, you're making it clear that it's on class. No submission means there's nothing that's going to be submitted. See, I don't know. I'm still confused on that one. I would probably say in your instance, it's on paper. I would make it clear on that one.
Okay.
I just don't know as far as the specific context of where no submission would actually be added. To answer that.
Okay.
But either way, if you're going to use so the overall point that I'm trying to make here with Karen's example, if you're going to use Canvas for your grade book, every assignment or every discussion that's going to be graded, it'd be nice to have that rubric added. So there's a clear record. So not only the student knows there's no discrepancy on how the student will be graded, but there's an actual record later on down the road as to why they were graded the way they are. Because they'll make it down the road a lot easier for you to actually review if they're going to challenge your grade in any way. So it's just more of an added benefit to you. You might be doing long work in the beginning, but near the end, it's going to be more of an added benefit to you at the end. Save you a lot of headache. Let me see. So with 5.3, I think I've covered that one. I went through this real quickly, but I also encourage you on your own, if you haven't submitted your final project yet, take a look at this effective modules example and assessments example. This document will go over in detail everything at a much on what is expected. Finally, I want to talk about, in regards to the final project, how you're going to submit this thing. Final project submission. There are 3 questions that I want you to answer. So before you submit, you're going to review the 5.3 document. When you're ready to submit, you're going to return back to this assignment. You're going to click on the Submit Assignment button. In the text entry box, I want you to paste an address to your home page. And if you're not clear on that, you know how to do that, you can refer to how to the create a homepage assignment. Then hit return and you're going to answer the following questions. Question 1, what content items did you complete? This is a very important one. So, John, remember you had some, you know, for example, with the syllabus, if we didn't talk, you might have had some discrepancies that weren't clear about the actual syllabus that we weren't able to clear up now. If there's anything in these actual requirements that may or may not apply to your course. So, for example, let's say you didn't choose this format of a homepage. You went with a different homepage. Let's say you used your modules as a homepage. Anything that might be different in your course versus what was taught in here, make that clear in question 1. Or if you feel like, I have a discussion, but it's graded, but there's no rubric. There's a reason why I'm not including the rubrics for a specific assignment. Make that clear in here. For anything that you communicate that might conflict with how I've set up the course, make that clear here. If you do not communicate that, then I'm going to be basing it off my own judgment, and that could cost you points. I want to make sure, does that make sense in what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Perfect. Question 2, what do you feel confident about your ability to teach a course in Canvas? Please let us know. 3 is also what's important here. What do you not feel confident about in your ability to teach a course in Canvas? What additional help you may need? Because this is going to dictate future training opportunities that we have. Just because you do this course, and at the end of it does not end our relationship together, we'll be working a lot more. And then question 4, what are your plans moving forward with Canvas? This is also helpful for us to understand when you plan on starting to teach. It also helps with training opportunities. Which, by the way, I want to make notes. We are currently planning Professional Development Week. And I'm going to find something here real quick. I want to go into Canvas. For Flex Week, on August 15th, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., there is a Are You Ready to Teach in Canvas. It's going to be a 4-hour session. This will be on campus. No room has been dictated yet, but this is for, the target audience is for fully online instructors who have taken an official Canvas training course, like you folks. This course is going to be used, if you plan on teaching for the fall semester, come to this course so we can do any last minute things to help you prepare for your actual course. Answer any questions, get a detailed review of your course, and we'll use, and this will be also as an open lab for you as well. So I want to make sure, keep August 15th from 8 a.m. to 12. If you can attend that, this will be fully for you folks, so we can make sure you're good to go in your Canvas course. And there'll be some also open lab sessions during the end of the week too. So if you're not able to attend the Tuesday one, I believe Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday there'll be some open lab sessions. But those will be for more Canvas and Blackboard users. They won't be specifically focused towards your course.
I think the library is going to have a video session on Canvas, about Canvas.
Yeah, there's how to make library presence and everything else. Real quickly, I want to go over these. I just want to mention what these are real quickly. And then, because I want to leave some time for open questions if you guys have anything. 5.6, migrating from Blackboard to Canvas. If you have discussion boards, if you have tests, if you have specific items that you still want to pull out from Blackboard and import to Canvas, here's a guide for you. This is a written guide from the California Community Colleges Online Education Initiative. Please read this document. It will give you a better idea on how to properly export content from Blackboard to Canvas. And mainly the thing that this document sits there and emphasizes is you can't do everything all at once. So there's a few instructors that have reached this part of the course and have a lot of stuff in Blackboard, and they create this export file and they want to do everything all at once. It causes problems. If there's things that you want to migrate over to Canvas, you do it piece by piece. If you want to migrate your discussion boards, you just migrate your discussion boards. If you want to do your tests, do your tests. One piece at a time. This video right here shows you how to do that. In this video, I show an example on how to do your discussion boards, how to migrate your discussion boards from Blackboard to Canvas.
Great.
If you don't have discussion, if you watch this video and you're like, okay, this is great, but I don't have discussion boards, I want to migrate my tests, just replace my instructions with what I say with discussion boards and do that with your tests or files or whatever that you want to have. But this video will help you migrate that over. Now, as far as your course is concerned, your training sandbox is concerned, I would recommend, if you want to continue working on your actual course, I would recommend this training sandbox and finish developing your entire course. Then when you're ready to, when your course is done and you're ready to transfer it over to an official Grossmont course sandbox, you can come back to 5.7 and this video will easily show you on how to transfer that information over.
Chris,
Yes.
how long will we have access to this course?
Forever, for as long as you stay employed at Grossmont.
Wonderful.
Now, real quickly, what will happen here, let me see here. I got to see in my settings here real quick. So this course ends on July 22nd. What may happen here, and I'm leaving this open here, users can only participate in the course between these dates. I'm going to leave that unchecked right now, but after Monday, well, I'll say Tuesday, this item will be checked. And that means that this course will leave your dashboard, meaning, let me go back over here.
Mhm.
On your dashboard, after, let's say, Monday, this course will disappear from your dashboard. And for future access, if you want to access any of that information, you'll go into courses, and then all courses, scroll all the way to the bottom under past enrollments. You'll see, you'll have, that's where you'll find access to the actual.
Good to know. Thank you.
So that does
Chris,
oh, go ahead. Karen?
yes, I have in my actual course, my Chemistry 113 that I'm going to teach them in the fall. I've got a template from the workshop that I did with you at the beginning of summer, the 4-hour worksheet.
Right.
So when I import my Canvas, overwrite the template, or will they both be in there together, or what should I do about that?
Can you say that one more time? There's one part where you broke up.
I have a template from a 4-hour workshop that I did with you.
Right.
My course, my Chemistry 113 course. When I input my Canvas sandbox into that, does that override the template, or will I have both things in there?
It will add to, so, okay, I understand what you're saying. So what Karen's saying is, in her official course that she actually has, she has a template that she actually has. Do you remember the section number for that, Karen? If you don't, it's no big deal.
No, I don't think I do.
What was it? Was it 115?
It was Chemistry 113.
What semester?
Fall 2017. So this coming fall.
All right, so I'm trying to bring up Karen's course. 113, Forensic Chemistry. Let's see if I got the correct course here. So right now we are actually looking at Karen's course. It's section 2502. And Karen took part in a template training course that we had at the beginning of, I believe it was June. Now she's taken the Canvas training course, and she's going to want to import all the work that she's done in her training sandbox into this course. However, it's not going to replace what's here. It's going to be in addition to, so it's going to combine, and that's not something she wants to do, and that's going to be a lot harder for her to process. So, keep in mind, Karen, I don't know if you're watching this on your phone or not, but this is recorded, so if you want to review on what I'm about to talk about, you can scroll to the end of the YouTube video. Because I'm actually have your course on screen doing this demo.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, I can see it on my phone.
Okay. So I'm going to go into settings. And this is very important to understand here, because I'm very cautious on when we delete anything in an actual course. Right? Even though Karen has a template course that she did not do anything with, I'm going to tell you the best practice as far as how to handle information that you're going to delete or reset. So the first thing that Karen should do is create an export her actual course. This is what you should normally do anyways, because it creates a good backup of your course. So I'm going to go into, I'm in the course settings, and I'm going to go into export course content. And here I'm just going to create an export file. Hopefully this will be real quickly, because there shouldn't be a lot in this course. And now she's created an export. Now I'm going to click here to download. I'm going to download her export file, and this is what you would do in your course. And if you see in the bottom right-hand corner, it's actually downloading. Now it's actually downloading. Now I have a backup of my course. So I don't feel paranoid, or there's nothing wrong with me actually doing it, which is I'm going to delete her entire course right now and reset it from the beginning.
That backup is on our hard drive?
When you click on this link right here, the backup will be downloaded to your computer, yes. So when we look at mine as Show in Finder, I'm on a Mac, so it's automatically going to go into my downloads folder, and I think that's what it will do for your PC as well. And the file that you want to look for, it's going to be a .imscc file. That's going to be the extension, and that's going to be the backup of your course. And I recommend doing that in general. So when you finish doing your actual course, right now, I recommend when your course is done and you're ready to release it, before you release it, before there's any student activity in it, go ahead and create a backup of it. Then I'm going to go back into settings, and I'm going to sit here and say, and can I, before I actually do this, I should ask you, can I do this, Karen?
Yes, please. That would be very helpful.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say reset course content. This is very important here, and I'm going to read it. You can read it on your own, but for as important as this is, resetting course content will permanently delete all associated assignments, discussions, quizzes, modules, rubrics, pages, blah, 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 everything it will delete, and it cannot, emphasize, cannot be recovered. Are you sure you want to continue? This content right here is the reason why I create that export. Just in case there's something in there that I needed. If you do this and you find out later on that in what you just deleted, you actually needed something out of there, it cannot be recovered. So you want to make sure and you understand how to export course content works. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because I know this is just a template. When I reset it, and I did it too quickly. Let me go back to it. Oh, that actually errored out. 8606.
You know, I had that same exact error when I clicked on the instructor, the GC3CD.canvas.instructor. I got that exact same error message when I did that from my service. I don't know if there's some error that students won't be able to access that.
No, I don't think there is. I think that was blog.
Okay.
Because now I'm back in your course right now, and it just reset just fine. So now you're empty. Now you can finish out your entire course in your training sandbox, and then when you're done with that, you create your export, and then you can go through the process of importing it into this course.
Okay, so it's empty now?
It's empty. 2502 is empty. That's your course.
Awesome. Okay.
So we would be doing this like from fall into spring. We'd be transferring one class from fall to spring. We do the same thing.
Right, but you don't need to do the reset course content. That's a totally different option right now because your spring sandbox is going to be empty in the beginning. I'm only emphasizing that reset course content in Karen's case because she had outdated content that was there that needed to be removed.
Okay.
But this 5.7 Unified Importing Canvas Sandbox, this would be the same process where you would work through importing your fall into spring course.
Would we use that to take our sandbox into our fall course?
Yes.
Thank you.
The only thing that was an issue, the way I used Karen's example, is she already had content in her fall course.
Right. Don't
remove that.
Yeah. Don't delete anything.
Yeah. Also, for the course evaluation, we don't like filling out evaluation forms, but please, if you could do this, it would be greatly appreciated to take a moment out. And when you finish working in the course, fill this out. This helps not only for for data purposes for my dean and supervisors, but it really helps us figure out how to improve this course. It'd be greatly appreciated. That being said, it is 11 o'clock. I am finished with my lecture items for the last half hour, It is an open session. You're more than willing to ask me any questions if there's anything you want me to go over, whether it's your final project, whether it's Canvas, the course, or how we're going to proceed in Canvas for whatever you want to talk about. This is the last half-hour opportunity. Otherwise, we can conclude it here.
When we want to start teach a course, we don't have to do anything else but transfer our sandbox into that course and then let the students know they're going to do it in Canvas, or?
Well, when you get everything done, you also, mine's published, but at the top corner of your course, you're going to have to obviously publish the entire course.
Okay.
And there's an option right here. You'll see in your option right here. Mine's already published. That's why you can't see it. But there would be an option here to publish your course when you're ready to go.
And is that after we transfer it to the actual course?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
But Chris, you also somehow have to let students know how to get in there, because if you're teaching in the fall, the students aren't going to know how to find Canvas. So how do you do that?
So let me explain this. So when you go onto the Grossmont sites, you actually see two logos, and for everything that we've been conditioned to train as far as Blackboard, when you click on the Blackboard logo, it goes to this login screen.
Right.
Now this logo's here, and it goes into an actual faculty website, which I need to update. It's out of date right now. The reason why we are doing that is because there's still a lot of faculty that have not received training, and we don't want faculty to go into and access Canvas right away and start using it without any proper training. That's why we're kind of being the gatekeeper on the actual link. They have to go through this training process just like you did to receive that access information. By the end of the fall semester, no later, we will have that link posted right here for students to access. So at this point in time, you're going to have to give the actual URL address. Let me go ahead and log out. It's gccd.instructure.com, this entire address, and then you'll have to tell students it's your web advisor username, or I say your legal first name dot last name, and then your 8-digit birthday. And put that in anywhere. Welcome letters, in your syllabus. I don't know how you make initial contact with your actual students, and we've done it so far. We have about 10 to 15 instructors teaching so far, and they haven't had any reports of any issues on any students trying to access Canvas. So we haven't changed our process. So until there becomes an actual problem in how students access it with the way we're doing it, we'll address it. But for now, it's going to stay that way.
I have
We have to give them our name and our birth date to.
No.
Okay, good. Good. You scared me.
It's there for them. You give them how to access Canvas.
Okay.
For them to log in, they need their username, first name dot last name, and their 8-digit birthday.
Perfect. And that'll get them in once they have the.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. Scared me for a minute.
I have 7 students this summer, and I asked them all to go into my course Canvas, and they were all able to do it.
Perfect. Awesome.
Great.
So it's
Okay.
not hard.
Okay.
A couple points I want to make here in regards to access to. We're all aware of, when I click on the call for help number,
Mm-hmm.
1-844-600-4953. If students have any login issues, they call this number, the Canvas 24 supports number. If you have any technical issues, technical glitches, like for example, Karen, you know, the glitch that you said that you experienced, you saw that same error message that I got, and if it hampers your ability to do something, call this number. Same with students.
Okay.
With students, there is no on-campus support. You can't send, if a student comes to you, Lynette, and says, I can't log in, you can't send them to the Mission of Records. You can't send them to the Tech Mall. They have to go, the first point of entry is this number for actual support.
Oh, that's helpful. Thank you.
Now, so we know Our username is our web advisor username and our 8-digit birthday. Lynette, do you plan on grading in Canvas using the grade book?
Yes.
So right now, as it stands, all I need to do is a little social engineering with my instructor, find out when her birth date is. If I make a connection and I realize that that is universal for both students and faculty, I just need to find out her username, or I already know her name. I
Yep.
just know we're in her course, and I have control over her grades. So how do you change your password? You click on your account icon.
Yes.
Then you click on settings. In the right-hand column, click on edit settings. Right under time zone, there an option appears that says password and then change password. You're going to click that box. And then you're going to type your old password, and then you're going to do your new and then confirm password and then update your settings.
Perfect.
Are there rules on the new password structure?
As far as I know, all it needs is to be is 8 characters in length.
Okay.
8 characters. Does anybody want me to go over that one more time?
No.
No.
I think so.
I've got about 25 files that I want to put into Canvas. Can I zip them up and do like a zip, zip all 25 of them together and pull them all in at the same time, or do I have to upload them one by
You
one?
can do that all at once.
How do I do that?
Do you know how to create a zip file?
I think you right click on it and then you select them all and
you select them all and then you right click and it says send to compressed zip file. I don't know can I do that real quickly on mine?
Whoa, pretty.
I'm trying to see if I can create a zip file. I don't know. Can you still see my desktop?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if I could do this real quickly. I've never done it on a Mac, so I don't know. Compressed 7 items.
Yeah, there it is.
So on a Mac, I have compressed 7 items. If I right click, it's going to say something along the same lines. I don't remember what it's going to say. So I have this archive, and I'm just going to name it Canvas. And then I'm going to go back into my Canvas course. And are these actual course files or are these personal files?
That's my very next question. My very next question is, how do you organize your assignments, and what's the difference between a personal file, a course file, and a group file?
So I would me personally, I would sit there and say course files and group files are going to be the same thing, and we haven't really gotten through the scope of groups, but I will answer as far as, so I'm in my accounts, and the reason why I sat there and said for Karen, do I have any personal files? Because you have a personal files section right here where I can upload content right here in my files area. So these might be files that I could either use for me personally. I could use this maybe as a cloud storage option that I would want to go through. And so I could store stuff up here, and then I could be on any computer. It eliminates the need to have a USB stick. And I can do that. It can just be personal content for myself, or it could be content that I want to use for my entire courses, all my courses. Then in your actual courses, you have files that are specific to that course itself. And then that's right here.
Ah.
So these
So
are—
where were those other files?
The other files were in account, and then you click on files right here.
Okay.
And I could probably move things back and forth. If I had something in my account personal files, I could move them to my course files.
Correct. to manage all of them, you would go into your file, in your personal account files, because under account files, I have the ability
Okay.
to move things, because you can see here, if you can see on my screen, my first folder is my files, and then I have all the other containers that I have here for my actual other courses. I can move content back and forth. But for when I'm in my courses and I'm in a specific course, I only have access to that course, that specific section of files.
Okay.
So now, if I wanted to, I'm going to create a new folder, a temp folder, because what I'm about to upload is garbage and I don't want it affecting the rest of the course. I'm going to go into that folder and then I'm going to say upload. And I'm going to find that zip file, hopefully. It should. Karen, you sit here and see zip file options. Would you like to expand the contents of the archive Canvas zip current folder or just upload the zip file as is? So if I say upload it, it's just going to upload the zip file. If I say expand it, it's going to open everything.
Okay, and if it opens everything, does it keeps all the names as they originally were?
Right.
Okay. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, it works everything perfectly.
Okay, and then so if I have my modules in week 2, week 3, then I have this last that's the entire all files for the whole semester of the lab. Where do I put that in my? Do I make some other module that says of the whole labs of all the semester, or what?
I'm going to try to repeat your question because on your phone call, it's kind of breaking out. It kind of broke up a couple times.
Okay, so my modules are week 1, week 2, week 3, right?
Right.
But then I have this big file that I just uploaded, this lab manual with this experiments for the whole semester. So which module do I put that in, or do I make a new module somewhere?
How many experiments are we talking about?
There's probably 16 experiments, one for each week, and then each module is a different week.
So are you saying you want to have one single place for students to access this content then?
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess it depends. It depends whether the files are individual files or whether they're one big zip file. So like the lab manual itself is one single file that's all the experiments of the whole semester, but I have individual chapter handouts.
So it's going to be kind of hard. Maybe after, maybe back in August, we can get together so I can get a better idea visually on what you're actually looking at so I can answer your question specifically. But for the of what I've done now, anything like, for example, if you look at mine here, I have a section here called Zoom sessions that don't really apply, that didn't really fit in the actual modules in and of itself. So any arbitrary modules that I've put them at the top, and I've created them at the top. So all the Zoom sessions, you can see and access every single Zoom session that has been taking place throughout the entire semester. So that's for easy access. And that's something that I would recommend in general, but specifically to you, I don't know specifically all the content that we're dealing with, so it's kind of hard for me not to answer that without seeing what you're actually doing.
Okay, that's perfect. You actually answered it already. So I just put them at the beginning of my module.
Right. And then if you have a lot of items here, you could do all the items and then publish them over a period of time if there's going to be a lot of items there.
Okay.
Annette, did you have a question?
Just remembered when doing the discussions, I had a minor problem in that I was unable to reorder them. I thought you could just drop and drag. As with the modules here, you can just drop and drag. But in my discussions, I had trouble reordering them by dropping and dragging.
So what, can you be specific as far as what trouble did you actually have?
They wouldn't reorder. I drag them up to where I wanted and they'd go back to where they originally were.
I had that problem also.
Okay, so because for example, like right here, the way you actually, so let's try something here. So I have a discussion here, unit 3.4. let's say I want to reorder that. I want that at the top. I don't want that at the bottom. So what I'm actually doing is there's a little rectangle box here with 2 dots here. I click on that and it turns into the, I have the arrow, it turns into the cross, and then I just click and drag.
It wasn't in the module itself. That I could reorder easily. It
Uh-huh.
was when I went to the modules button and discussions button and went directly to the discussions.
Oh, so in the discussion here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't really gone into the discussions, so let's see.
And it was in the order I wrote them rather than in the order I wanted the students to see them.
These are, in these areas here, you can't really do, and this is another reason, this is not one of the main things, you can't really organize these. These are pinned discussions that I actually have here, but I hardly ever go in here. The only reason why I have this with the discussions here is for me to get quick easy access to the Q&A area.
Right.
But you can't really organize these items here.
Right.
The reason why I left the discussions open, and I'm kind of changing my tune. I'm going to leave this hidden also and just do everything in the actual module section. Because you have no control on how these items are there. I call this just general file cabinet. But the reason why I left it open for the actual course itself is for easy access. If I wanted discussions, I didn't want to have to go to the modules and say, okay, now I have to do my course replies, and I have to go through and click on find Unit 3 and then go into that discussion, when I could just go into discussions and then click on Unit 3. However, with the modules, you have complete control as far as how you want things to appear and how they're listed towards the students and everything else.
Right. I had no problem with the modules. It was when I was in just the discussions themselves. So.
Yeah, that's why I would sit there, and I'd recommend hiding those as well.
Okay, gotcha.
So just to summarize, that there's no way you can reorder discussions, and that doesn't matter.
Section.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Thank you, Lynette, for asking that.
And that goes the same with assignments. That goes the same with quizzes. Well, I mean, assignments, you could actually do it, but I mean, as far as here, this is more for just waiting. I use this section so it's clear on how I rate my grades. But I have no control on how students access this information. You have complete control on how students access the information in the order that they want. You can set requirements and everything else. Do you folks understand how to do that? When I say setting prerequisites and requirements, do you understand how to do that?
Oh, I believe so.
So when I go in and I look at Unit 3 and then I click on the gear icon right here, so I'm on my Unit 3 module, I can click on the gear icon and I can say edit.
Right.
And here's the control I have. I could say lock, I have my lock until you can't see it until a specific date and time.
Right.
I have a prerequisite stating you have to complete Unit 1 before you can do Unit 2. And then my requirements, this is the control that I'm talking about that you have as an instructor. I say students must complete all of these requirements and they must move through them in the requirements in sequential order. And I list all of my modules out here and what they're supposed to do. So that's the level of control that I have, that I can keep students on the path that I want them to be on.
Okay.
And you don't have this option in the discussions, in assignments or anything else. They can go and click on whatever you want.
Right.
We have 3 more minutes.
Okay, real quick. On the, when it says teaching in Canvas and you have the 4 green boxes underneath, how do you set that up? Because I think it was Karen's, she had her title and then she had.
Right here, are you talking about these buttons?
Yeah.
What you'll want to do, that goes beyond the scope of our call today, but in 5.3, if you take a look at the Canvas buttons PDF, this guide will show you step by step on how to set up those buttons on your homepage.
Okay.
But I want to make clear that this Canvas buttons, it's purely optional and it has no impact on your final project grade.
Well, it's just that I wanted to be ready for my class. I want to do as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to have to change stuff.
They'll help you with that.
The instructions are very clear there.
Okay.
Chris, when
Yes,
when I got to these, one of the last steps where you go into your HTML editor.
Yeah, you were talking about, so let's add that here since we're talking about that. So let me find it. So I'm trying to find, so what Terry had is when he goes in the HTML editor. So you were talking about this code right here?
Yes. The language doesn't exactly match up to what I found when I went into that.
Let me try and see if
based upon the instructions.
In the home page, let me go and edit. And then I click on the HTML editor. What you need to do is find the keywords. So I have 4 keywords: announcements, syllabus, and then there's modules, and there should be discussions right here. For the announcements, if you go through and we back up here, you'll go through and you'll find this A tag right here. This is what we're actually looking at for this one. In the very beginning and in the tutorial, Danny, don't worry about taking notes here. This will make sense when you actually read the tutorial.
Mhm.
Right before that class button, the instructions say, I think announcements is first, but this is different. Or at least I saw it as different.
Let me actually see what it actually says. But you understand that's where you need to actually put the content.
Yes.
Chris, we would want to get rid of the discussions button if we're not going to have the discussions in our course
That's a
menu.
good point. That is a very good point. And what I will probably do is change that. I will go ahead and delete that from mine right now.
Okay.
But you want 4 content items in our modules for just for this assignment?
Now we're talking about something different, Danny. We're talking about buttons. You asked about buttons, and we're going and let me, if we're going to jump into content items, let me finish on answering this.
Okay, go ahead, because you only have a few minutes left.
Yeah. So let me. I'm going to delete the discussions here.
If you don't want the 4 buttons, you just put in 3 of the titles or 2 of the titles.
Right, like I did, and I just deleted that right there.
Okay. But if we have it in right now, it won't matter for our final project.
No, it won't matter for the final.
Okay.
It's just, I like the way that it looks in the end when you have your class and you have this thing underneath it. It looks.
And this is good too. Another reason why I recommend these actual buttons is because if a student accesses the Canvas course on a mobile device, so on an iPhone or an Android phone or on a tablet, the home page is what's going to come up first. They're not going to see this course menu.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see this home page, and these 4 buttons will automatically be there, and it can take them to different areas of the course. So as they're not familiar with how to actually use the app, this is a great way for them to get, to use the actual item here. Okay. One thing I want to check, Danny, I want to check with Terry real quick. I want to see the actual document here, because I want to make sure I'm clear on what Terry was trying to talk about. Final project.
I think it was in Unit 2 where the instructions were.
Yeah, and this is the same document right here. Can you see the PDF now or no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there, unfortunately, it's too small here. So no, announcements was first. I have announcements and then syllabus and grades. It just doesn't look like the actual code that's actually there, but it does technically match. It's just too small.
Chris, is there a way to change students' names in Canvas? Like say a person is Christopher and they want to be called Chris. Can I change them to Chris?
No. The reason why is because Canvas, just like with Blackboard, is using WebAdvisor as the controlling database. So every day, ads, drops, email information, that's all being uploaded to Canvas twice a day. So if you as an instructor need your name changed, so for example, you had your name changed, didn't you?
Yes.
You would need to go to human resources as far as an employee is concerned and have that changed. For a student, I'm not sure. They might need to log in their web advisor account and have their name changed there. And it would upload the next day.
I have a real quick question. Since I have a cross-listed class, I'm going to have to, how do I do that? I know how to do it in Blackboard. I do it all the time now, but in Canvas, do I do the same procedure?
Faculty members can't merge course. Well, in Blackboard, it was called merging. In Canvas, it's called cross-listing your courses. Faculty members don't have the ability to do that in Canvas. What you need to do, Danny, is send me an email, and I can send you a link to an address that you'll need to fill out a form for a cross-listing request.
Okay. All right.
And then to answer one last question, Danny, you had mentioned 4 content items. So 2 modules, at least 4 content items need to be completed, whether it's a content page, assignment, discussion, or quiz. 4 items in one module, and then 4 items in another one.
Okay.
And then that's it.
All right.
So,
Short question. I
yes.
forgot.
Thanks, Chris.
I submitted.
Thank you.
All right. See you in the
It's
fall.
absolutely amazing course. Loved it. Thank you.
Before you go, real quickly, I want to make this one point, and then Terry, I'll answer your question. So, next week I am going to be out of the office. I'm actually going to Colorado for a Canvas conference. Hopefully, Sarah will start grading these. So, with the final projects and everything else, please allow at least 3 weeks for us to get through these projects and get through the grades. You will get an email with a feedback form. Karen got one of those feedback forms telling you your status and your result in the course, whether or not you passed. And if you passed with an 80% or above, Janet Gill will be the one sending out your certificate so you can get your 20 hours professional development credit. But please allow us at least 3 weeks for us to get through the final projects.
Have a nice time in Colorado, Chris.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Buddy.
Terry, you had one last question?
Yes, I submitted my final project, but I can't remember that I did the URL. We can go back in and do that, can't I?
Yeah, you can go back and do that.
Oh, okay. I'll check it and make sure.
Yeah, until 11:59 tonight.
All right. Okay, got it. Thank you very much, Chris.
All right, take care.